In the ongoing struggle between Ukraine and Russian forces, a crucial question arises: how does a nation without overwhelming firepower turn the tide of war in its favor? The answer lies in the innovative spirit of the Ukrainian armed forces, who are not just forging new weaponry but reviving older technologies. Among these is laser-guided munitions, a method developed during the Cold War that has proven devastatingly effective against advancing enemy forces. Laser-guided bombs represent a remarkable evolution in military technology. Designed to follow a concentrated beam of light precisely to its target, these weapons allow operators to pinpoint threats with unmatched accuracy. The process is strikingly efficient. A designated operator directs a laser onto an enemy target, creating a high-contrast spot detectable from long distances. When the bomb sensor recognizes this spot, it locks on and plunges toward its mark, often with catastrophic precision. Such innovations were born out of necessity during the 1960s when conventional bombs frequently missed their targets. Back then, only 1 in 3 bombs dropped by British bombers hit within 5 miles of their intended location. In stark contrast, laser-guided technology transformed operational effectiveness dramatically. While earlier bombing campaigns cost countless resources with little success, smart bombs drastically reduced the number of munitions needed to achieve destruction. Just imagine the sound of a single bomb, a sharp exhalation through the air, as it finds its target with accuracy once deemed unattainable. With precision targeting, the potential for collateral damage diminished. Military operations could now focus on hard-hitting blows against enemy positions, fortified bunkers, and command centers. However, relying solely on laser-guided munitions posed challenges. The operator always needed to maintain a clear view of the target, making them vulnerable to counterattacks. Despite this limitation, when Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine in 2022, those older concepts found new life in a modern context. Ukraine strategically integrated the technology into their defense, employing Turkish drones equipped with laser targeting systems. These drones became the eyes of the battlefield, lighting up enemy positions as they delivered precise strikes against logistical convoys and air defenses. But as the conflict evolved, the Ukrainian forces faced a daunting reality. Earlier victories seemed to dwindle amidst onslaughts from increasingly sophisticated Russian defenses. So how did Ukraine adapt to the shifting tides of war? With the assistance of Western allies, Ukraine received an arsenal of advanced precision bombs capable of dual guidance systems. These new weapons, while primarily GPS-guided, could switch to laser targeting that matched battlefield conditions. Ukrainian soldiers soon became adept at utilizing these capabilities, launching laser-guided artillery munitions from long distances that could reach targets up to 16 kilometers away. As the drones whirred above, the energy of a focused laser beam became a lifeline, a beacon of hope amidst chaos. But just when it seemed that the enemies of Ukraine were cornered, Russia reacted aggressively, developing countermeasures designed to jam satellite signals and disrupt communication lines. Though many military forces might have abandoned laser technology under such pressure, Ukraine rose to the occasion, showcasing remarkable resilience and ingenuity in the face of adversity. In a relentless pursuit for survival and superiority, Ukrainian engineers refined tactics and developed countermeasures, using their environment to mask operations and create distractions. As the battlefield continues to evolve, with each side striving for dominance, one truth remains clear: the ingenuity of the Ukrainian armed forces has turned the fears of defeat into stories of strategic victories. The unyielding determination of a nation showcases not just innovation but the indomitable human spirit that perseveres even against the mightiest of odds. Will this legacy of creativity and innovation reshape future warfare, or will history once again repeat itself? The echoes of battle, the strikes of munitions, and the resolve of soldiers lead us to watch closely what unfolds next in this gripping saga. Imagine a time when bombs dropped from the sky, often landing far from their intended targets, wasting precious resources and lives. This was the reality for many military forces, including the U.S. Air Force, in the aftermath of World War II. A study revealed that less than a third of all dropped bombs hit within 1,000 feet of their targets, with most landing disappointingly far away. As militaries faced the daunting task of improving accuracy, the concept of guidance systems emerged, sparking a revolution in warfare. In 1968, the United States unveiled the world's first laser-guided bomb, known as the Bolt 117. Despite its innovative design, it remained underutilized for years due to high costs and complex technology. It wasn't until the 1980s, as production methods became streamlined, that laser-guided munitions transformed the battlefield. Their debut in operations like Desert Storm in Iraq and during intervention in Yugoslavia showcased this new era of precision warfare. These bombs obliterated enemy fortifications and crucial military assets, fundamentally shifting combat dynamics. Why did laser-guided bombs become the ultimate game-changer? One significant advantage lies in their pinpoint targeting ability, even on moving objects. With real-time adjustments, these munitions could stake their claim on enemy targets with astonishing accuracy. Another edge was efficiency. An operation that once required dozens of unguided munitions could now be accomplished with a single, strategically deployed bomb. Laser-guided bombs offered not just precision but substantial savings in resources too. Pilots no longer needed to lumber through multiple missions just to achieve one successful strike. With the new technology, fewer sorties were necessary, meaning less exposure to enemy fire and reduced operational costs. Moreover, the accuracy of these munitions dramatically lowered the risk of collateral damage, sparing civilian lives and infrastructure. Yet, these weapons were not without their drawbacks. The reliance on a visible laser source meant that a supporting unit or aircraft had to be on site to guide the bomb to its target. Dense smoke or adverse weather conditions could compromise this guidance, challenging operatives on the battlefield. As a response, subsequent years saw the emergence of advanced alternatives, including satellite-guided munitions, which further pushed the boundaries of military technology. Entering the modern era, Ukraine recognized the potential of adapted laser-guided systems and began integrating them into its defense strategies in 2019. Notably, the introduction of Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 drones combined with guided munitions allowed for efficient targeting of Russian convoys and military positions. These advancements became crucial in the early chaos of the conflict, as Ukrainian forces utilized the drones to execute precise strikes against heavy Russian assets. However, as the war progressed and battlefield dynamics shifted, Ukrainians found themselves facing higher levels of electronic warfare from Russia, which hindered their satellite-guided precision munitions. In this landscape of technological evolution, Ukrainian forces adapted and innovated, becoming adept at using laser-guided artillery like the 155mm M712 Copperhead, capable of engaging from significant distances. The continuous challenge of maintaining a laser designator amidst fierce air defenses posed yet another hurdle, but the Ukrainian military's resilience shone through. Rather than retreating in the face of adversity, they embraced creativity and tenacity. This unyielding spirit, characterized by resourcefulness, even in dire conditions, allowed them to exploit the relentless pursuit of precision. In a world where technology shapes the outcome of conflict, who will adapt to the demands of modern warfare? Will those who innovate and find shortcuts thrive, or will furiously entrenched systems of the past prevail? Stay tuned as we explore the unfolding narrative of military evolution, driven by ingenuity and fortitude. In the shadows of ancient sculptures covered in dust, I recall the acrid smell of burning oil, the earth shaking beneath my boots, and the distant hum of engines as spotters sheltered in ruins, painting targets with invisible light. Could a weapon from the Cold War shatter Russia's grip on the skies, humiliating their jammed signals and turning the tide? Shockingly, Ukraine's ingenuity revives laser guidance, outsmarting Moscow's electronic walls in ways that echo forgotten victories, keeping the fight alive against all odds. Ukrainian forces master the chaos from jammed global positioning signals. Uncertainty grips our crews. Will we crumble without reliable tools? No chance. These smart bombs adapt to laser beams too. Crucial adaptation. Even though satellite-guided options shine in peacetime, with their launch effort ease and razor-sharp hits, Russian electronic warfare scrambles them, signals falter under jamming. Uncertainty looms. Pilots sweat in cockpits, radios crackling with static. Ukrainian soldiers excel with laser munitions now. Mastery born of necessity. They wield the American ARG-20 Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, also known as APKWS High Precision Gear. Uses 70mm Hydra 70 rockets. Guided by laser lights. Strikes ground and air foes alike. Ukraine flips the script. Targets Russia's Shahid drones repeatedly. Skies clear of buzzing threats. Rockets scream downward, engines roaring in the mist. Since 2024, new artillery joins the arsenal. 155mm M712 Copperhead projectiles. From American Supplies. Fired from howitzers. Reach up to 10 miles. Or 16 kilometers. Shells arc through fog, lasers painting distant bunkers. But wait, a gaping flaw persists. Same ancient curse haunts laser tech. Need the laser designator nearby. Skies bristle with interceptor missiles. Ukrainian jets can't linger. Can't lock on while bombs fall. Impossible risk. Pilots evade flaming tracers. This barrier stumps most militaries worldwide. They ditch laser weapons. Fall back on leftovers. Not Ukraine. Resilience defines them. Like phoenixes rising. Overcome impossible odds. Thrive in desperation. Military engineers push boundaries. Find bold paths. What genius breakthrough awaits? Whispers of vertical takeoff stir the air. Yak-38 prototypes roar to life, rotors whipping snow. Cockpits reek of grease and fear. Flashback hits me, the metallic tang of blood on my hands, sirens wailing as we loaded experimental birds. Will outdated jets redefine aerial dominance, or is this Ukraine's ultimate gamble in the laser war? Stay tuned as history pivots on a single, defiant flight. As the conflict escalated, the global community learned one undeniable truth about the Ukrainian armed forces: their remarkable resourcefulness and adaptability. Faced with overwhelming odds, they consistently find innovative ways to survive and flourish. When Ukrainian military engineers and tactical planners assessed their situation, they quickly envisioned a brilliant alternative. Large aircraft, while powerful, posed immense risks when hovering in range to deploy laser-guided munitions. Losing valuable jets was not an option, especially for a nation with a smaller air force. But then, a spark of ingenuity ignited an idea: what if there existed a more agile option? What if drones, smaller and less costly, could achieve the same destructive targets? Ukraine had already established itself as a formidable force in drone warfare during the ongoing conflict with Russia. With unparalleled defensive strategies against massive drone swarms and offensive tactics that struck vital Russian assets, from oil pipelines to crucial military depots, drones had become a game-changer. Utilizing them for laser designations transformed the battlefield yet again. Employing drones in this capacity offered myriad advantages: they are lightweight, hard to intercept, and can be produced efficiently compared to conventional laser designation platforms. In fact, a wave of domestic innovation surged across Ukraine's defense sector, with numerous firms racing to integrate laser systems into unmanned aerial vehicles. One notable achievement came in July 2025, when FRDM reached a landmark moment. Obtaining official approval for its UAV-based laser targeting solution from the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. This cutting-edge setup featured a 14.6 kilogram laser targeting module attached to an R-34 quadcopter, designed not within Ukraine but to fulfill the nation's operational needs expertly. The designator emitted the crucial laser, illuminating targets with precision and efficiency like never before. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into how this fusion of technology and military prowess reshaped the battlefield in unexpected ways, leading to remarkable turns in the conflict and redefining warfare as we once knew it. What happens next might just change everything. In the previous segment, we explored how Ukraine has adapted laser-guided munitions to enhance its military capabilities. Despite some limitations, these advanced systems have proven invaluable for precision strikes, effectively transforming older technology into lethal assets on the modern battlefield. As the war unfolds, the innovative spirit of the Ukrainian forces shines through. Now, imagine the battlefield: the air is thick with tension, the rumble of distant artillery reverberates, and silhouettes of drones hover above, poised to unleash a wave of destruction. What happens when you combine the ingenuity of military technology with relentless determination? A game-changer emerges. Enter the Martland missile, a potent laser-guided weapon that has recently taken center stage in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This sophisticated munition has given Ukraine a formidable edge, allowing forces to strike strategic positions with pinpoint accuracy. Picture this, a single missile obliterating a high-value target, leaving the enemy in utter shock. After all, how can one prepare for the unpredictable and deadly efficiency of these weapons? As Ukraine continues to innovate, it's not just about military dominance, it's about rewriting the rules of engagement. Whether targeting heavy artillery or destroying command centers, the Martland missile symbolizes a shift in warfare dynamics. With each successful strike, it raises a chilling question: how can Russia hope to stand against such relentless precision? This newly acquired advantage goes beyond merely damaging enemy assets, it alters the psychological game. Russian troops, once emboldened, now face the chilling realization that their own strategies may be crumbling. How do you follow orders when every command could be their last? But wait, this narrative is filled with twists. As Ukraine secures its foothold, whispers of emerging technologies are heard. Could there be an entirely new system in development, one that uses the same laser-locking technology but with an unexpected twist? Innovations are surfacing that would allow for completely autonomous drones, capable of striking without prior designation. Theoretically, they could evade even the most advanced electronic warfare systems designed to counteract such assaults. This bold advancement opens a floodgate of possibilities: more efficient use of resources, fewer munitions expended on redundant targets, and an unparalleled tactical advantage over any adversary. Could Ukraine be positioning itself to lead in military technology on a global scale? By blending the wisdom of past innovations with modern warfare's demands, Ukrainian engineers are crafting solutions that seem almost too good to be true. However, with each leap in technology, new challenges arise. Will the old guard of Russian defenses adapt quickly enough, or will they remain trapped in outdated methodologies? Stay tuned as we peel back the layers of this evolving conflict, an ongoing saga of innovation, resilience, and the relentless spirit of a nation determined to defend its sovereignty against the odds. What lays ahead as these technologies unfold and redefine how wars are fought? The answer promises to be as dynamic as the battlefield itself. Imagine launching a weapon so precise it could turn the tide of war, but what if an invisible beam of light held the key to victory, outsmarting enemies and shattering fortresses like glass? That's the world of laser-guided munitions, and Ukraine's military has mastered this deadly art from the Cold War era, adapting it to devastate Russian forces on the front lines. Laser-guided munitions aren't perfect, they demand a constant laser source pointing at the target, which is risky or impossible in enemy skies shrouded in smoke and anti-aircraft fire. Shifting perspectives, these pinpoint weapons evolved from chaotic, inaccurate bombing raids years ago, paving the way for satellite alternatives that don't rely on such vulnerable beams. Yet, amid electronic jamming, Ukrainians leaned heavily on laser guidance, excelling with the American AG-20 Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, redirecting 70mm Hydra 70 rockets toward ground and aerial threats with devastating accuracy. Can you feel the tension in the air, the hum of engines drowning out distant explosions, as drones evade defenses? Because of these challenges, even advanced systems no time for rest. Russian electronic warfare jammers disrupted global positioning satellites, turning satellite-guided bombs into unreliable ghosts. Undeterred, Ukrainian soldiers polished their laser arsenal further, including the American AG-20 Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, honing those soaring 70mm Hydra 70 rockets to shred both land fortifications and buzzing Shahed drones mid-air. Imagine the acrid smoke choking the battlefield. The deafening roars of rockets, and the electric thrill of precision strikes, Ukrainians humiliated Russian swarms, turning the skies into their playground. But why stop at drones when artillery could join the laser revolution? Pushing boundaries since early 2024, Ukraine unleashed 155mm M712 Copperhead artillery shells, courtesy of U.S. allies, firing them from howitzers at distances up to 10 miles or 16 kilometers, guided by that relentless laser beam. The core flaw remained: operators needed to illuminate targets without getting blasted by Russian anti-air defenses, a deadly conundrum crippling jets and bombers. Other militaries might quit, but Ukraine's fighters proved resourceful against impossible odds, innovating relentlessly. Picture the gritty resilience, the scent of gunpowder clinging to sweat-soaked uniforms, the nagging question: how far could sheer ingenuity push them? Delving into this technology's Ukrainian saga alights on 2019, when Kyiv ordered Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drones paired with laser-guided bombs, MAML mini bombs packing 22-pound, 10-kilogram warheads, and MAMC bombs with 5.5-pound, 2.5-kilogram payloads. These worked in sync, TB2s locking lasers for bombs to home in lethally. Imagine the shock of Russia's unprepared defenses as these systems decimated supply lines in early 2022, pulverizing air defenses near Crimea and Kharkiv, even mastering the iconic Battle of Snake Island. The crackle of explosions echoed across waters, the metallic tang of destruction in the air. Turkish TB2s dismantled Russian vessels, missile sites, and comms hubs. Yet, as the war dragged, these once unstoppable tools grew vulnerable, forcing Ukrainians to evolve. Post-invasion in early 2022, Ukraine flooded in Western aid, precision munitions like French AASM Hammer bombs and American GBU-39s alongside JDAMs, mainly GPS-reliant but adaptable to laser guidance. Why choose lasers over fire and forget GPS wonders? Because Russian jammers scrambled signals, rendering satellites fickle. Ukrainians adapted, weaving lasers into attacks with masterful precision. Twisting from past failures, their soldiers flipped weaknesses into strengths, outmaneuvering invaders with innovation. Can you hear the victorious chants through the smoke, feel the ground tremble under shattered enemy resolve? But even as lasers shone, new obstacles loomed. Could Ukraine illuminate the path forward without breaking? In a world engulfed by chaos, a single question echoes amidst the noise: how can a nation transform its vulnerabilities into formidable strengths? As the war rages on, the Ukrainian armed forces unveil astonishing innovations to fend off invaders. While high-speed ballistic missiles capture headlines, there's an unexpected player emerging from the shadows: the adaptation of Cold War-era technology. Imagine a striking contrast: laser-guided munitions, once deemed relics of the past, now revitalized in the 21st century. These weapons don't just represent a method of warfare, they are precision tools that breathe new life into battlefield strategy. Picture a laser beam locking onto a target, a state-of-the-art designator illuminating the path to destruction. This technology, developed decades ago, is more relevant than ever. In a historical context, one must realize the profound impact of accurate targeting. Before the advent of laser guidance, bombers faced a daunting dilemma: accuracy evaded them. A staggering report from 1941 revealed that only 1 in 3 bombs struck within 5 miles of their targets, and even advanced systems in the aftermath of World War II struggled to outperform that statistic. The question arises: how many lives were wasted in the fallout of inaccurate strikes? Now, enter the game changer. The US invented the first laser-guided bomb in 1968. Initially expensive and complex, it gradually became accessible, revolutionizing military operations by the 1980s. The precision offered by laser-guided munitions allowed forces to eliminate strategic targets while significantly reducing collateral damage, a game-changing shift that left adversaries scrambling. Yet, with every leap forward come challenges. The reliance on a designated laser poses significant limitations, as battlefield conditions can obscure visibility. Would you be willing to risk lives in pursuit of a technology that might fail under pressure? Fast forward to 2019, Ukraine signs a deal for Turkish drones and guided munitions, pioneering a new form of warfare. As the Russian onslaught unfolds in early 2022, these drones strike pivotal targets: logistics convoys, air defense systems, each attack reverberating through the ranks of the invading forces. Russia appears unprepared, grappling with the aerial threat posed by drone-based laser systems. Yet, as the war drags on, the initial shock fades, and Ukrainian forces must adapt once again. Enter the evolution of guided munitions. Ukraine's strategic partnerships result in an influx of advanced precision weaponry from Western allies, including GPS and laser-guided bombs. These tools aren't just about accuracy, they're crucial in a rapidly changing battlefield. But with Russian electronic warfare capabilities targeting satellite signals, older laser systems become indispensable once again. Through sheer audacity, Ukrainian forces redirect their laser-guided arsenal. Armed with advanced precision rockets, designed for air and ground targets, they exploit the enemy's vulnerabilities. Their relentless spirit defies expectations, as they consistently outmaneuver the chaotic dance of war. As we delve deeper, we witness the innovative determination of Ukraine's defense industry. Recent advancements include laser targeting modules aboard drones, enabling real-time airstrike coordination. Imagine the excitement of launching a small quadcopter drone, equipped with cutting-edge technology that allows for pinpoint accuracy up to 5 kilometers away. Yet, there's a catch: dust and weather can throw a wrench in these operations. Could you handle the pressure to adapt under fire? A representative from a Ukrainian defense company emphasizes that utilizing drones is not just efficient, it's cost-effective compared to traditional methods. They must navigate stockpiles of NATO-standard munitions, ensuring that every ounce of technology is harnessed for strategic advantage. Ukrainian forces strive to train adept crews, with laser designators leading the way to victory. This journey of resilience reveals a fundamental truth: amid overwhelming odds, Ukraine continues to innovate, forcing adversaries to rethink their strategies. As each drone whirs overhead, illuminating targets with its guiding beam, the message is clear: triumph can emerge from the darkest moments. Will Ukraine's ingenuity tip the scales in this ongoing struggle for survival? The battlefield holds its breath, waiting for the next strike, a defining moment that could reshape the course of history. Imagine the pulse of innovation beating against the shadow of invasion. In the last chapter, Ukrainian forces mastered drone swarms, tripling their power against Russian tanks. A crew of 3, 2 pilots and 1 laser operator, pilots each machine. Speed drives success. The typical flight lasts only 35 to 40 minutes. Every second crackles with tension. The rush of wind against the drone's wings. The cold grip of controls. Could one elite Ukrainian firm alone reshape the skies? And what if this is just the start of a brilliant revenge on aggressors? Feel the heat of anticipation as you discover the competition rising. MARRDM is not the sole hero in this high-stakes saga. Another shrouded firm specializes in fixed-wing reconnaissance drones. They confess to Ukraine's Kyiv SkyTruth about weaving laser guidance into a frontline UAV. This marvel flies alongside artillery units. 2 relentless years forged this beast. Ukraine reaps its deadly rewards daily. The acrid stench of battle smoke lingers on the air as the war rages. How many more secrets lie buried in these innovations? Unearth the shock: Ukrainian drones will soon annihilate Russian targets in an eye blink. Bomber variants, armed with laser seekers, deploy mini-bombs like the Turkish MIMCs from 2022. Devastation will erase enemy forces from existence. Can you hear the thunderous explosions, even from a distance? Truly, a barrage of projects brews right now. Whispers of progress echo through the mist. Enemies tremble at the thought of adaptation turned against them. What twists await if lasers invade the personal realm of MB-FPV drones? Breathtaking. These nimble flyers could lock onto lasers, striking foes untouched by Russian electronic veils. The sting of failure burns for invaders, as Dwarf Engineering leaps into action. Their team enhances the MB-FPV guidance module for laser-tagged prey. Co-founder and executive Vladislav Piotrovsky unveils the battlefield edge. Targets glow under reconnaissance drones. Imagine the advantage: lasers extend reach to 3 kilometers. Automated hits ignore electronic fog. Shielded from countermeasures. Without lasers, auto-aim falters at 400 to 800 meters. A visceral leap forward. Collaboration ignites genius. Dwarf Engineering allies with MFly. Together, they birth the system. The MFly crew designs a gimbal optical module, a swivel-mounted eye for scout drones. Equipped with a camera, thermal imager, laser target designator. 3 lenses pierce the chaos, scanning surroundings, spotting threats, locking onto doom. Textures of frost and scorch blend as these drones evolve, outpacing the oppressors. The coarse vibration of motors signals inevitable strikes. Sensory overload hits hard. Rough winds whip through shattered skies. Sharp laser beams dance like vengeful spirits. Smell the ozone crackle of energy unleashed. Touch the icy resolve of defenders turning ancient tech into unstoppable force. Russian defenses crumble under a hail of precision. Will this fusion spell total humiliation for the invaders? Revista rampant questions swirl: can innovators endure electronic onslaughts? Does a single drone savior emerge? What humiliation awaits if lasers dance beyond jammed satellites, leaving you breathless? As cameras capture unseen horrors, imagers detect thermal whispers, designators burn targets bright. The climax looms. Ready for the avalanche? A new chapter could shatter more myths than you imagine. What chilling revelation hides in the next upgrade? Will it end a nightmare or ignite fury? In a world where innovation ignites the fight against invasion, the Ukrainian armed forces are revolutionizing their military capabilities. In the last chapter of this saga, they mastered the use of drone swarms, effectively tripling their firepower against Russian heavy machinery. Each drone, piloted by a dedicated crew of 2 pilots and 1 laser operator, operates under the pressure of time. Missions typically last a mere 35 to 40 minutes, every second steeped in tension. What if one elite Ukrainian company could redefine aerial warfare? What if this was just the beginning of an ingenious reckoning with aggressors? The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, the very air crackling with potential. Imagine the laser precision that could soon target Russian positions in the blink of an eye. Ukrainian drones, bolstered by innovations from young entrepreneurs, are making strides toward a new dawn of combat. With the persistent, acrid stench of smoke punctuating the tense silence, the war lingers, but so does the hunger for victory. How many hidden capabilities lie within these technological advancements? Recent developments hint at something monumental: armed drone variants, each outfitted with laser-guided systems, capable of deploying the same mini-bombs that caused chaos in previous strikes. The enemy trembles at the thought of these devastating weapons. Can you hear the earth-shaking explosions echoing even miles away? A torrent of projects is brewing, the whispers of progress slicing through the battlefield like a laser beam. But that's just the surface. What if these lasers could soar through the air, beyond the reach of Russian defenses? Here, in the heart of innovation, dwarf engineering rises to the challenge, enhancing their systems to target and destroy with unyielding precision. The co-founder, Vladislav Piotrowski, reveals how drone-mounted lasers enable strikes from an impressive distance of 3 kilometers. This advancement defies the chaos of electronic warfare. The refined targeting technology allows for automated strikes even in the thick of combat. Imagine the grim scenario for invaders, lasers standing firm while their electronic defenses falter. Collaboration becomes the cornerstone of this ingenious transformation. Drifting between chaos and clarity, Dwarf Engineering partners with M-Fly to develop a cutting-edge guidance system. Their design, a sophisticated gimbal optical module, equips scout drones with multifaceted capabilities: cameras for reconnaissance, thermal imagers for spotting heat signatures, and laser designators that lock on to enemy assets. Each component weaves together seamlessly, transforming the battlefield into a stage for technological marvels. As these drones soar, they outpace their opponents. The vibrations of their motors resonate like a death knell for those who dare to oppose Ukraine. The sensory overload of combat fills the atmosphere, winds whip through a tainted sky, the sharp brightness of laser beams reflecting like vengeful spirits eager for retribution. An electric energy pulses, the scent of ozone tangibly pressing the air. Mingling with the resolve of defenders who have resurrected old technologies into instruments of unassailable power. Can this potent fusion herald a day of reckoning for the invaders? Questions swirl as each new enhancement brings us closer to the edge of a stunning climax. Will the relentless march of innovation withstand the electronic assaults? Is there a singular hero among the skies that can turn the tide? What unbearable humiliation might await if these lasers navigate beyond the confines of traditional warfare? The stage is set for an avalanche of revelations as the story unfolds, cameras documenting the unseen horrors of war, imagers capturing the fleeting silhouettes of fate, and designators illuminating the battlefield with deadly intent. Each moment builds toward an explosive climax, ready to shatter the myths long held over modern warfare. What chilling surprises lie waiting in the next technological leap? Could this mark the end of a nightmare or spark a furious uprising? The battlefield holds its breath, awaiting the next pivotal strike. In a continuous battle to fend off invaders, the Ukrainian armed forces have been ingeniously revitalizing old military technology, turning it into a powerful tool against their aggressors. Among their notable feats is the sophisticated adaptation of laser-guided munitions, a technology initially developed during the Cold War. But how did Ukraine manage to transform decades-old ideas into a formidable weapon? Laser-guided munitions operate like a hawk on a hunt, locking onto targets illuminated by a guiding beam. The technique not only ensures pinpoint accuracy but also eliminates the need for excessive firepower. Imagine a single bomb, carefully directed, doing the work of countless unguided counterparts. This advancement reshaped military strategies, reducing collateral damage and increasing operational efficiency. Back in the turbulent 1960s, militaries faced a critical challenge: the inaccuracy of conventional bombs. A study conducted in 1941 revealed that only a third of British bombers hit within 5 miles of their targets. The U.S. Air Force wasn't much better, with similar statistics revealing alarmingly low success rates. This inefficiency wasted resources and lives, prompting innovators to pursue guidance systems that would enhance precision. The result was the first laser-guided bomb introduced in 1968, but it remained a novelty for years, only gaining traction and effectiveness in the 1980s. Throughout pivotal operations like Desert Storm in 1991, these laser-guided munitions proved their worth, striking enemy fortifications with deadly precision. They were revolutionary, enabling real-time targeting, enhancing efficiency, and significantly reducing costs and risks. Yet, the reliance on laser designation introduced new vulnerabilities, as obscured battlefields limited the effectiveness of these high-tech offerings. As Ukraine awakened to the stark reality of war in 2022, it made a strategic pivot by integrating Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drones with laser-guided munitions. Early on, these unmanned aircraft wreaked havoc on Russian supply lines, dismantling logistics convoys and enemy positions with a precise strike. In the chaos of conflict, the drones became a game-changer, catching Russia unprepared and devastating strategic assets. But as the conflict wore on, challenges arose. Ukrainian forces faced a paradox: while relying heavily on sophisticated laser technology, they needed to adapt to rapidly changing battlefield conditions. Fortunately, Western allies rushed to their aid, providing modern precision-guided munitions that could bypass Russian electronic jamming efforts. Ukrainian soldiers quickly became adept at leveraging these systems, transforming vulnerabilities into strengths. However, this is not merely a story of success amidst challenges, it's also one of innovation. As audio and visual technologies advanced, so did the need for effective systems that could guide munitions with minimal risk. Collaborations between local firms, such as Dwarf Engineering and M-Fly, led to the creation of advanced targeting modules. These innovations allowed drones to adapt in flight, facilitating precise strikes even when enemy defenses bristled. In the shadow of warfare, the Ukrainian military's ingenuity shines. As the tide shifts, it is with a blend of old technology and new tactics that they continue to challenge their adversaries. What else lies hidden in the depths of old knowledge turned new? Can these advances burst through the barriers that many thought unbreakable? Just as thunder precedes lightning, the next chapter in this saga promises to illuminate the battlefield in unimaginable ways. As cameras capture unseen horrors and imagers detect thermal whispers, the stage is set for a revolution. What chilling revelation awaits on the horizon? The answer might alter the course of the war forever. Could a new development bring hope, or spark even greater fury? Imagine unleashing a weapon so precise it could turn the tide of war. What if an invisible beam of light was the secret to victory, outsmarting foes and shattering fortifications like fragile glass? Welcome to the world of laser-guided munitions, where Ukraine's military has become a master in this lethal art, crafting strategies that ride the edge of innovation and history. Previously, we explored how laser-guided munitions make attacks incredibly precise and efficient. No longer do soldiers need to rely on indiscriminate carpet bombing. With these advanced weapons, just one carefully aimed missile can destroy a target that would have required dozens of unguided bombs. This transformation not only saves resources but also minimizes risks for pilots and civilians alike. Before the advent of laser technology, military strategies involved dropping countless bombs over vast areas, hoping some would strike key targets. This approach was wasteful and often catastrophic, leading to collateral damage that sparked public outcry and condemnation. What a difference the laser makes! With a singularly targeted bomb, forces can strike with pinpoint accuracy, leaving surrounding areas, civilian lives, intact. Still, laser-guided munitions are not invincible. They require a designated spotter to shine the laser beam onto the target, necessitating a presence nearby. In chaotic battlefields, obscuring smoke or unpredictable weather can hinder this vital line of sight. Imagine a soldier crouched in the mud, heart racing as enemy fire rains down, desperately trying to keep the laser trained on the target. Can they afford a moment's distraction? As Ukraine tapped into this potent technology, the stakes rose. The introduction of laser-guided systems evolved quickly, culminating in their 2019 acquisition of Turkish Bayraktar drones and accompanying munitions. The Turkish drones became the eyes in the skies, shining light on Russian supply lines and command posts, transforming the battlefield into a deadly game of chess. Yet as the conflict dragged on, reliance on these early victories became a double-edged sword. Innovators within Ukraine sought new ways to adapt, determined to keep their advantage against a tenacious enemy, learning from each misstep. Under the pressure of relentless attacks, could they forge a formidable strategy that turned the very limitations of laser-guided munitions into strengths? Feel the anticipation build. Will these brave soldiers decipher the keys to enhance their laser precision, or will they face the daunting challenges head-on? The battle for innovation continues, and the outcome remains uncertain. In a world fraught with turmoil, one poignant question reverberates through the chaos: how can a nation convert its struggles into remarkable strengths? As the conflict endures, the Ukrainian armed forces unveil groundbreaking innovations to fend off invaders. Amid high-speed missiles and cutting-edge defenses, a surprising ally emerges from history's depths: laser-guided munitions, once thought to be relics of a bygone era. These weapons have been revitalized for modern warfare, serving as precision instruments that transform battlefield strategy. Imagine a precise laser beam locking onto a target, illuminating the path to destruction. Developed decades ago, laser-guided munitions have become more relevant than ever. The significance of accurate targeting cannot be overstated. Before the sophistication of laser technology, bombers were ensnared in a web of imprecision. A staggering report from 1941 revealed that only 1 in 3 bombs hit within 5 miles of their intended target. What tragic costs accompanied such inaccuracies? Then came the revolutionary moment. In 1968, the United States introduced the first laser-guided bomb. Initially seen as an extravagant and complicated tool, it soon transformed military operations during the 1980s. This weapon allowed factions to annihilate pivotal targets while significantly lowering collateral damage, a radical shift that rattled adversaries to their core. Yet, the progression wasn't without hurdles. The dependency on a laser designator created vulnerabilities, as battlefield conditions could hinder visibility. Would you gamble lives on a technology that operates under such constraints? Flash forward to 2019, where Ukraine's strategic deal for Turkish drones marks the dawn of a new warfare era. As the Russian offensive unfolds in early 2022, these drones target crucial assets, from supply convoys to air defense systems, shaking the invading forces. Russia's initial unpreparedness against drone-based laser systems becomes glaringly apparent. However, as the conflict wears on, the initial impact dwindles, necessitating further adaptation by Ukrainian forces. This is where the evolution of guided munitions steps in. With robust backing from Western allies, Ukraine receives a surplus of advanced weaponry, including GPS and laser-guided bombs. These tools extend beyond mere accuracy; they're essential for maneuvering in a shifting battlefield landscape. Yet, with Russian electronic warfare tactics disrupting satellite communications, older laser systems regain their vital utility. Undeterred, the audacious Ukrainian forces recalibrate their strategy, employing precision-guided rockets designed to engage both air and ground targets. Their relentless spirit continues to defy expectations, artfully maneuvering through the tumult of conflict. Enter the innovative resolve of Ukraine's defense sector. Newly developed laser targeting modules attached to drones facilitate real-time airstrike coordination. Picture this: a small quadcopter drone takes flight, equipped with technology that promises pinpoint accuracy even from 5 kilometers away. Yet, as with any military operation, obstacles remain. Dust or inclement weather threaten these meticulously planned strikes. Could you manage the tension of adjusting on the fly in high-pressure circumstances? A spokesperson from a Ukrainian defense firm asserts that the strategic use of drones isn't just expedient, it's also cost-efficient compared to traditional methods. The challenge is to expertly maneuver through NATO-standard munition stockpiles, maximizing every technological advantage for maximum effect. This relentless pursuit of excellence in training results in adept crews, where laser designators shine a pathway to victory. As this narrative unfolds, a powerful truth emerges. Amidst crushing odds, Ukraine continues to innovate, compelling adversaries to rethink their stratagems. With each drone's whir, illuminating targets with focused beams, the message is unmistakable: even from the darkest encounters, triumph can emerge. As this tale of resilience continues, will Ukraine's ingenuity emerge as the turning point in this battle for survival? The battlefield holds its breath, poised for the next strike, a pivotal moment that could redefine the trajectory of history.